This is true.
All right, over to you.
Cool. Go
Hi,
ahead.
I'm Tiffany Soetojo.
And my name is Justin Burzachiello, and we are two undergraduates from the University of California, Riverside. And today we are presenting our solution to communicating with a Martian from Mars, as you may suspect. So in order to do this, we iterate through a recipe that we can use to communicate with this Martian. First, we teach the Martian basic mathematical concepts such as number and addition. And then from there, we introduce the idea of units and objects. After we introduce objects, then we could teach them how to make a recipe. And then finally, we convey the basic idea of gravitational acceleration to this alien as an exotic topic. Now, in order to do this, we first start off with mathematics. And while we're doing these mathematics, we have a series of steps. First, we introduce numbers, then fractions, and then we actually, throughout this presentation, throughout our code, we employ audio so that if the alien cannot see, he can hear. And then we introduce adding and subtracting.
So to teach our Martian on numbers, we use patterns as seen in this output of our code. The repetition of chocolate illustrates the numerical value as seen in chocolate 1. And the last bolt of chocolate on each sentence helps the alien learn about units. Next slide. And then here we have the same concept, but just using numerical values and symbols instead of English. And lastly, to find out whether or not our friend understands this concept, we tested them. And if they don't get the answer right, the prompt repeats until they have had the right answer.
Now, from that, we can teach the alien basic integers. However, another type of number is incredibly useful, and that is the fraction. So we utilize a similar method by writing a program with a series of questions, and then we test the alien on his idea of fractions. The way we do this is by including asterisks to the left of a slash and asterisks to the right of a slash, thus denoting fractions. And then here's an example of such a test.
We're not sure whether or not our friend can see, so we decide to make it as inclusive as possible. With each prompt given, an audio recording will be played. And put audio.
Chocolate.
So as you can hear at the end of our code, there was a 150 hertz sound to illustrate the end of the sentence. We choose this frequency since the atmosphere of Mars is much less dense than on Earth, and waves can travel at low frequencies.
There we go.
And from numbers, we introduced the idea of adding and subtracting by using, quote, more and to illustrate the idea of adding and less for subtracting, as seen in our output. And here we illustrate that we can use units as seen 1 weight, more 3 weights, 2 weights equals 3 weights. And as last time, we tested our alien with the same method of repetition. Here, on to the next topic, differentiating items and with weights and units. So here are the steps. We'll talk about adding weights and the difference between items and the concept of time.
So yes, in order for our alien to be able to understand the idea of weightlifting and of quantities, it helps to introduce the idea of weight. So we do this by describing quantities of weight along with pictures. So as you could see here at the right, we have a quantity of a quantity of 1 pair of dumbbells, and that corresponds to 1 weight. But then you can have a quantity of 2 pairs of dumbbells, and that corresponds to 2 weight. And then from this, we could further elaborate on this and employ our mathematical example of iteration so that we can add weight and subtract weight. And then we can test our alien on these concepts through developing a quiz through Python.
Here, in order to illustrate the right ingredients for our vegan cookie, we decided to illustrate how we would solve chemistry by using mass number, the molecular formula as seen as in the output. And moving on to the next slide, we get to talk about the group of items, such as what is considered vegan and what is not. Here we use molecular structures as seen in chlorophyll, molasses, and lactic acid. And as previously stated, again, we tested our alien with the same method.
And great. So now that we've able to convey the idea of quantity, we also want to teach the alien the idea of time. Now, we assume that this alien has some way of sensing the day on Mars. For example, maybe vision or maybe thermoreception so that they can detect the heat from the sun. Assuming that they can calculate how long a day is on Mars, for example, 1,477 minutes, you can divide that by 8 because our cookies will take 8 minutes to cook, and then we can establish a concept of time. Now, from this concept, we can employ our methods of fractions and then teach them how to understand these.
Now we're going to help our friend make delicious vegan cookies.
Great. So previously, we alluded to the fact that our Martian can be able to understand the concept of heat. We can utilize this to teach them how hot to cook the cookies with. For example, we can use this temperature from the sun and divide that by a value in order to calibrate our oven. And then from there, we can utilize our idea of mathematics and of diagrammatic pictures to teach the alien how to mix ingredients and what amount of ingredients to use. And then finally, we can also teach the alien a fancy topic. What we employ is teaching the alien the concept of gravity by showing pictures. On the right, you can see 3 frames showing an object falling from the top to the very bottom in a small amount of time, and then a slideshow of 4 frames showing it taking a longer amount of time. And then through these ideas, we can convey the idea that more frames means weaker gravity and longer amount of time. And then we could test our alien logically and see if he can understand what object will take longer to fall if it has a weaker or stronger gravity. And yeah, so in order to do this project, we utilize various software such as Audacity for audio recording and Python for creating tests. And we also utilized various resources for understanding the science behind this. Thank you.